Thank you for joining us. I'm Riley McManus. After a 2-year hiatus, the Thunder Bay Hill City Kinsmen were able to host their annual Children's Easter egg hunt again today. Children were able to collect eggs and not only get chocolate, but other prizes too. Jessica Clement has more.
About 1,000 kids and their parents came by the Slovak Legion parking lot Friday morning for the egg hunt. The lot was a substitute for the event's usual spot, Carey Park, which was in terrible condition due to the weather. Despite this setback, event chair Jason Freeburn was excited to be able to bring the egg hunt back after 2 years and said that seeing the smiles on the children's faces made it all worth it.
We love to do events, especially for the kids. This event, you get to see it happen right away, right? You get to see them collect their eggs, open their eggs up, see what's inside, right? Get some chocolate, maybe get a prize, and it's near instant gratitude, so it's awesome.
The Kinsmen organization had filled 13,000 plastic eggs with around 21,000 pieces of chocolate inside them. Chocolates weren't the only things in the eggs, however. Dozens of special eggs were lying around with vouchers for other prizes, like jump ropes and kites, with the grand prize being a brand new bike. With these prizes on the line, some kids had come up with strategies to get as many eggs as possible.
I just saw them all placing the eggs down, and I was looking for the eggs that were mostly close, so I could get as much as I can.
I'm gonna bend down and then just start grabbing them.
I'm going to the middle of the thing because most of the kids go to the edge first.
And after everything was over, we asked them what their favorite part of the egg hunt was.
I like how you can get eggs and then you can turn them into prizes.
I really like eating the chocolate, and I like meeting the Easter Bunny every year.
Candy.
Yeah?
And that's basically it.
I might see my friends and I can do it with my family and see the prizes in them.
The joy in the children's faces proved the egg hunt was a huge success, and Freeburn says that he hopes they'll be able to do it again next year. Jessica Clement, TVT News.
The Churchill Pool Renewal project is nearing completion after some recent delays. There is still some significant work to be done before the planned reopening. The main setback was related to supply chain issues surrounding plastics needed for the project. Once completed, the public will see brand new family change rooms and upgrades to the locker rooms. Mike Carlucci is the supervisor of aquatic operations and says along with this, the pool area itself will see massive improvements.
So what we've done is replace all original pool components. So we excavated the whole entire pool deck, replaced all the piping, and by doing that, we're also going to change all the tiles. So what the public's going to see is a brand new surface pool deck. So that's going to be an eye popper for most people.
The project is set to be completed in the next couple of months, with the Churchill pool expected to be reopened to the public in mid-June. Thunder Bay Citizen Satisfaction Survey is back after being postponed last year due to the pandemic. The goal of the survey is to measure quality of life and other issues facing the community. The Citizen Satisfaction Survey has been running since 2009 and sees 500 random telephone surveys conducted. There's also a goal this year to collect 2,000 online surveys, and that number has already been reached. The results will be used to help draft the city's next strategic plan. The city's Director of Strategic Initiatives and Engagement, Tracy Smith, says it's really important we understand experiences with racism in our city to tackle them appropriately, which is why one page of the survey is focused on racial discrimination.
We have been asking that question in the past, and it does inform how we address racism in Thunder Bay, discrimination, respect. It has helped to inform things like our Indigenous relations and inclusion strategy. So tracking that information helps us to identify whether we're making improvements.
The survey is available until April 23rd and can be found on the city's website under the Get Involved tab. A full report on the results will be brought to City Council in May, and the strategic plan is in development right now, but won't be released until the new City Council is in place in the fall. The Vaccination Clinic inside the CLE Coliseum is expected to wrap up its operations this summer. The clinic is no longer flooded with area residents eager to get immunized like it once was, and the CLE officials are looking to start using it again for shags, events, and of course, the CLE Family Fair. Corey Nordstrom has the details.
Full-scale COVID vaccination clinics like the one inside the CLE Coliseum seem to be going by the wayside in many Canadian cities. The recent expansion of fourth doses may have made that clinic a bit busier as of late, but the district health unit may soon not need access to the Coliseum building 7 days a week.
We have our supplies there, we have vaccine fridge there, So we're coming into sort of different arrangements with the CLE so that we can still use their facilities when they're available, but we can free them up when to allow other people to also use those facilities.
Dr. DeMille says they're looking to employ a more mobile immunization strategy in the future, and CLE officials are looking forward to having more availability of their largest rental space in time for their big events this summer, such as the family fair that kicks off August 10th.
We have an agreement with the Thunder Bay District Health Unit to, we run our fair. That's our biggest moneymaker. And then the Rib Fest, they expect to be on the grounds end of August.
A mobile approach may be the target going forward, but DeMille anticipates the need for a large-scale clinic once again to protect against new strains or at times when cases usually begin to rise.
We could see it becoming where in the fall it would be recommended that people get a bit of a boost against COVID-19 through vaccination prior to the fall and winter season, where we know that the spread of something like COVID happens, more frequently.
The two sides have yet to agree on an exact date for the vaccination clinic to wrap up its permanent residency at the Coliseum, but law expects that to happen at the end of June or the end of July at the latest. Corey Nordstrom, TVT News.
Officials with Tourism Thunder Bay have launched a new video on social media which aims to promote a local grant program and bring corporate travel and conferences back to the city. The CEDC is hoping the video called Bring It Here will kickstart the meetings and convention industry in Thunder Bay. The campaign encourages groups to bring their events to the city, and it also promotes the local hotel tax funding program, which can provide support to events, conferences, and festivals that attract overnight visitors. Organizers can apply for a grant up to 25% of the total of the event budget. Tourism manager Paul Pepe says that corporate travel represents about 25% of the overall tourism economy in the city.
So pre-pandemic, that was in the area of $45 to $50 million a year to our local economy. So a pretty big piece of the tourism industry, of the economy, and certainly the hardest hit. So encouraging and anything we can do to get people to think about meeting in person again and to bringing their event to Thunder Bay is really top of mind. It's a very big priority for us post-pandemic.
A pair of Norval Morso paintings were unveiled to the public last night, more than 40 years after they were stolen from Confederation College. Both paintings combined are worth $100,000. Lee Noonan has that story.
The paintings, Demigod Figure 1 and Demigod Figure 2, were stolen from the college in 1981 and not seen again until 4 years ago when an art dealer recognized them after reading an article about the theft. Now that they have recovered the paintings, the college is donating them to the Thunder Bay Art Gallery. College president Kathleen Lynch says there were a lot of twists and turns in the effort to get the paintings back from Montreal where they were found.
Someone had them in their possession, didn't realize they were stolen, and we couldn't just claim them back again. So it took some negotiations and an agreement, but it was successful. They're back again, and they're here for everybody in Northwestern Ontario, and really for anybody visiting Thunder Bay to enjoy.
The college's Director of Public Safety and Risk Management, Mike Rosick, worked with police in Montreal to determine what happened and to prove the paintings were the same ones stolen from the college.
We were able to find pictures from I think it was 1974 or something, and it was just amazing. And then looking into the research of how they were actually stolen, and it was basically, from what I understand, is two people walked in with hard hats and pulled them off our walls and walked out.
The paintings can be seen at the Thunder Bay Gallery as part of their The World We Know exhibit of new acquisitions to the permanent collection, which is on now. Director Sharon Godwin had just been hired at the gallery in '81 and remembers Morso as someone who was very important to the local art scene.
Everyone had some connection with him, right? Oh, I bought a painting, or oh, I knew him when he did this, or so. not just his work, but him as a person, right? He's kind of legendary.
Being Winnea and Schnabek counselor Lillian Calder remembers Morso first and foremost as family. He was her mother's cousin and someone she knew growing up as kind-hearted and spiritual with a strong connection to animals.
Gave his paintings to anybody and everybody. You know, it didn't matter what race or what community you were from or everything. He was very generous that way, so I'm sure he'd, everybody to enjoy that. I think that's why he painted, so he could get his stories out there, and he has a lot of stories to his paintings.
The paintings were certainly a highlight for guests at the celebration, which was the college's first such event since the pandemic and showcased cuisine prepared by culinary management students featuring Indigenous ingredients. Leah Noonan, TBT News.
Joined now by sports anchor Kurt Black. Hello, Kurt.
Hi there, Riley.
Oh, it's been a while since we've been on this desk together, and I like it a lot. Well, let's get right into it. The sports, the Cam Fighting Walleye. They have been making moves.
Yeah, no, they've had a great season, and one of their star players, he's going to be sticking around. We'll have those details right after the break.
Well, like we were saying before the break, the fighting walleye are all anyone can really talk about, and now they're making more moves with one of their captains.
Yep, the SIJHL's top defenseman, Riley, he's sticking around as Fighting Walleye captain Zach Fortin has committed to Lakehead University and will be joining Andrew Wilkins' Thunderwolves blue line next season. Thunder Bay native has been a difference maker this season in his lone season in Cam River, leading the expansion Walleye to the Bill Salonen Cup final, while pacing all defenders in scoring with 12 goals and 44 points in 42 games this season. This is a big-time addition for a Wolves team that missed the playoffs, finishing 5th in the OUA's West Division this past season, with just 6 of the team's 54 goals coming from the blue line. Staying on the ice, the hockey world has lost one of the greats, Hall of Famer and Montreal native Mike Bossie passed away this morning at the age of 65. Bossie was far more than just one of the game's most gifted pure goal scorers. He was an inspiration for countless that followed in his footsteps. Christian Ashkate has more on the Islanders legend.
Edwards hands it right to Gilly. In front. Score! Bossie!
45 years ago, this was the beginning of one of hockey's greats. Mike Bossie, only 20 years old, scoring his first goal in the NHL. It would be the first of many.
There was no one of his generation and maybe ever who had as good a nose for the net as Mike Bossie did.
Something about it.
Known as one of the most prolific goal scorers in NHL history, Bossie helped lead the New York Islanders to 4 consecutive Stanley Cups between 1980 and 1983. In only 10 years, he scored a whopping 1,126 points in 752 games, all of it with New York.
Mike Bossie still has the best average of goals per game in the history of the league.
And in 9 consecutive seasons, Bossie also scored more than 50 goals, an achievement that even eluded the Great One. However, a chronic back injury forced Bossie to retire, abruptly ending his career in 1987.
And had he played into his 30s and had a good long career like some of these other all-time great scorers, I dare say that Alex Ovechkin would be chasing Mike Bossie right now.
Bossie was later inducted into the Hockey Hall of Fame in 1991, and after his career, he spoke out about hockey violence with hopes to make the game safer. Last October, he announced he was diagnosed with lung cancer, forcing him to step away as an analyst with TVA Sports. As news spread about Bossie's death, condolences continue to pour in. The New York Islanders said they mourn his passing, calling him one of the greatest in NHL history. Wayne Gretzky said, "It was an honor to play with you. You will be missed." Tonight, the New York Islanders will face off against the Montreal Canadiens in Montreal's Bell Centre. It is here where both teams are expected to honor Bossie's life, including his many contributions to the game. Chris Nachkate, CTV News, Ottawa.
And Bossie's impact on the game was evident around the NHL today, as many of the game's current greats spoke on the 4-time Stanley Cup champion.
Anytime I ran into Mike, he was always so gracious and very nice to talk to, and you know, he was such a phenomenal player. He made goal scoring look easy, and so for the career that he had and the person that he was and the time he gave back to the Islanders, and it meant a lot to us young players.
First, Mike as a person was tremendous. He was really good to me, especially my first number of years on the island, and saw him quite a bit and just loved the game and loved to talk hockey, and obviously specifically goal scoring. Obviously, if not the best, one of the best at it, obviously, and part of one of the best dynasties in NHL history, and obviously remarkable career. So very sad to hear the news, and you know, wish his family the best.
One of the best goal scorers the NHL's ever seen, and above that, every time I've been around him, he was always smiling, always happy, always, you know, giving tips and telling you you've been playing well and stuff like that. He had so much energy and so much positivity surrounding him.
He's somebody that did so much for the game of hockey, so much for the community, even after he was done playing. So, you know, we're thinking about him, we're thinking about his family, and it's tough news to hear for sure.
And Bossie's Islanders, they will be in his hometown of Montreal this evening as the Canadiens welcome back Carey Price to the net for the first time since last year's Stanley Cup final. It's been a long and difficult road back for the future Hall of Famer, and you can bet his teammates they want to get their MVP a victory in his return.
For him to be away from it for so long, you know, that's why you can say it means so much, just because, you know, I've seen the work that he's had to put in this year. You know, there's been a lot of setbacks that he's had to handle, and he's handled them like a pro, and he's kept pushing forward to get to this point where he's been able to get back in the net for us. So it's, you know, for us to do what we do, it's not lost on us how lucky we are.
The fact that he's willing to put all that time and the effort to come back in a losing season shows me something. Is Carey loves the game, cares about hockey, and cares about the Canadians probably too, right? There's a saying, and I truly believe, I have this sign in my house: champions are built when no one's looking. You know, for an athlete, like you have to really take care of that and get up in the summer, get up in the morning and get your work done. And for reaping the benefit 3-4 months, you know, it's not instant benefit, you know, and Carey's done that all year, I think, to trying to get to this.
We're going day by day, for a while, like all the other step, we're going day by day until, well, it didn't work anymore. But this time, the knee was fine.
Over on the diamond, baseball celebrates the 75th anniversary of the great Jackie Robinson breaking the color barrier in baseball when he took the field for the Brooklyn Dodgers in 1947. And today, the city of New York honored Robinson's legacy by temporarily renaming 42nd Street and Broadway in Manhattan to Jackie Robinson Way. Definitely a very cool moment indeed. As for those Blue Jays, they were in New York last night, but their return home to Toronto this evening to kick off a weekend series with the Oakland A's. Jays coming off a 3-0 shutout last night in the Bronx. It was a tough one for the Bluebirds offense, as they just couldn't get anything going, and I'm sure former A Matt Chapman, he'll want to bounce back tonight against his old team after his base running error in the 9th. That really cost the Jays first pitch getting underway shortly from the Dome. In early action today, Mets honoring a legend of their own, unveiling a statue of legendary pitcher Tom Seaver prior to first pitch. But the Mets, they wouldn't need a franchise performance on the mound, as the bats, they were hot. Robinson Cano rocking the custom Jackie Robinson cleats, and he would do old number 42 justice, taking this off-speed offering the other way for his first long ball of the season. And then next inning, it's Francisco Lindor getting in on the action himself, just depositing this one into the second deck. Mets crush 4 homers on the day, and they cruise past the Diamondbacks 10-3. Great game. Definitely looking forward to the Jays tonight.
Oh, I can't wait.
Yeah. Hopefully they bring out the big bats.
Oh, yeah. I can't wait. That's going to be exciting, and we'll probably have the highlights of that on the late.
Hope so.
Yeah. We'll have your local weather after the break.